What's up? Long time no see, y'all. Long time no see. And hey, Clarence, I hate that I miss Wind Grace, but hey, Clarence. um, so if you guys have been following the channel, you know I had a couple little issues going on, and um, yeah, it knocked me off my square for a little while, but it looks like I'm feeling better. I'm coming back. I just didn't want the 2023 to go out without me giving you all my well wishes for 2024, and let's hope that 2024 is better for all of us. Back like Jordan, we're the 40 for you, right, man? We're the 45. So yeah, let's hope that next year is just better for all of us. Even if you had a splendid 2023, everything can get better for 2024. That's what my hope and my wish is. I don't plan to be here for 2 hours like usual today because I am still dealing with a bit of lethargy behind what I had going on. But I do want to talk a little bit about number one, we got Star Trek Prodigy on Netflix. And it's doing astonishingly, maybe not astonishingly, it's doing well. It's in the top 10 in multiple countries. This is what we wanted. We wanted Star Trek Prodigy to get in front of an audience who would appreciate it. And it seems like Netflix is a good home. Even though we want all of our Star Trek to be under one roof, it looks like Netflix is a good home for Star Trek Prodigy. They are looking forward to our a second season, which I am not sure we got a date yet for. It's supposed to be sometime 2024, right? But I don't think we have a date. Let me see what I can find. But hey, we already got a Star Trek Prodigy season 2 after these first 20 episodes that we have right now on season 1. Let me see. Do we have a date? Still doesn't have a date as far as I can see. If you guys got anything different, let me know. But I do remember them saying it was supposed to be in 2024. So let's hope that's right. We're going to get the second season, and they're even talking about seasons beyond. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that manifests. We're going to manifest that like the fans of Manifest did. You guys get the wordplay? You got it. Yeah, no. We're going to manifest that third season at the absolute least. As far as Star Trek goes, what we got looking forward to in 2024 is going to be Star Trek Discovery, which we know is coming to us in April sometime, which is, that's a long ass time. But we know it's coming, right? So Clarence is confirming that it's sometime 2024 for Star Trek Prodigy. No exact date, but we know it's coming. So that's one thing to look forward to besides our final season of Star Trek Discovery in 2024, which is again in April, which means we got a little stretch of time before we'll get some Star Trek on television. Then we also, I think, are getting our Star Trek Lower Decks season. What season is it? 5? Whatever season it is. I think we're going to get that again in 2024. And then finally, I don't think Strange New Worlds will be ready by 2024. I really don't. But again, if you got some different information, let me know, because I've been in a cocoon for the last few months. Hello, Justin. Good to see you. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about for 2020, hopefully 2024. I know at least the filming is starting in 2024, and that is our Star Trek Prodigy. Star Trek Section 31 with Michelle Yeoh. And in Star Trek Section 31, Emperor Philippa Georgiou joins the secret division of Starfleet tasked with protecting the United Federation of Planets and faces the sins of her past. So I'm looking I think the filming is supposed to wrap in March for this movie. So I don't know if we should expect 2024 or early 2025. So yeah, Clarence is expecting to see some lower decks as well. Hopefully. Hopefully. So we got a dry spell. Like I said, April is when we are getting our return to Star Trek Discovery, and the series finale will be sometime thereafter, and then things might be quiet for a little while again. One thing that I have been enjoying since I haven't been doing much else is the Doctor Who coverage that we've gotten. Let me see. Clarence says Strange New Worlds just went behind the camera this month. Section 31 starts late January, according to rumors. Right. So I got that same thing about the Section 31 movie that they are starting to film. They should be wrapping filming in March, if I'm correct. And post-production is probably what's going to take the longest, especially depending upon how much CG and that type of thing has to go on. So we gonna see. What else was I gonna say? That's the only slide I got, by the way, y'all. I ain't got no slides because today was just about really the conversation and just wanting to touch bases with you guys, let you know I'm still around and I still am going to be doing this. It's just when the old noggin gets that final band-aid ripped off. It was a rough time, y'all. It was really rough. And one of the things that I guess I should say, and this has nothing to do with Star Trek or anything else, if you're on medication for something and you start feeling better and you think that, oh, I got this, do not stop taking that medication until somebody with a degree tells you, hey, stop taking your medication now. You're good. Because that's pretty much what happened with me. I had a mild mental breakdown, is what they called it. First, it was just a panic attack. And then they said, no, that was a little bit more than a panic attack. That was a mild mental breakdown. So y'all thought I was y'all thought I was crazy before. I'm certifiable now, but I'm still here. And that's all that matters, right? Going back to Doctor Who. Doctor Who has been good. Now, the reason why I'm able to watch Doctor Who at this time is because they've got it on Disney Plus now. So if you hadn't been watching Doctor Who because you had to make a choice like me, and you either had to have Disney Plus or HBO Max, well, now you can watch Doctor Who, the newer episodes, what's coming out for 2023 and the end of 2023 and beyond is going to be on Disney Plus for the foreseeable future anyway. So I've been able to watch some Doctor Who. I started Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I think that's what it's called. The movie, they made a series out of it. And so far, so good. The kid that's playing Percy Jackson is the same kid that was in that movie with Ryan Reynolds. What was the name? The Adam Project. Man, that kid is he's a young Ryan Reynolds. I am enjoying that so far. What else have I been into? I made a list of movies that I think I want to see next year. If I could pull myself out of the house, and we could talk about those a little bit if you want. What else? What else has gone on? Well, thank you, Justin. I truly appreciate it, and things are looking up. I can say that things are looking up. If I'm sitting here and talking at length, things are looking up. It was bad for a little while though. What the heck, where it came from. It was just like one day everything seemed to be good, and then the next day the bottom fell out. So that happens. I'm glad that if it was going to happen, it wasn't what I ended my year on, and I could start my year with a little more hope and a clean slate. Yeah. And I appreciate everybody for your thoughts and your well wishes during this time. So thank you guys, because it does help to get through these days when things start getting dark. Even though it's like, how are you a Star Trek fan with this hopeful future and you dwell on so many dark things? Gosh, well, I tell you, I'm feeling better. I don't know how I don't know how else to say it. I'm feeling better. Um, so today, hey David, good to see you. Thanks for welcoming me back. I'm glad to be back. I just yeah, it's something about just sitting and talking and knowing that, you know, that people at the absolute least care about me. So thank you. Thank you. Um what else was we was talking about the movies. There's a lot of movies coming out in 2024, and some of them I want to see more than others. There are like I said, I made a quick list. I'm just going to go over kind of like the major ones. So there's a one called The Book of Clarence. That one, and it has I believe, gosh, what is his name? Lakeith Stanfield. I believe he's in it. It's an adventure comedy drama and history movie. And it says the synopsis of it is: struggling to find a better life, Clarence is captivated by the power of the rising Messiah and soon risks everything to carve a path to a divine existence. That's one I want to see that's coming out in January. So hopefully things work out where I go to see that. And tell me if you've heard of any of these movies. Tell me if you heard of them. Bob Marley. I think that's February. Bob Marley, One Love, the biography. It's like a dramatic biography with some music, of course. And it's going to have Kingsley Ben-Adir as Bob Marley. We got Lashana Lynch in it. It's a look at the life of legendary reggae musician Bob Marley. That is one I definitely am looking forward to. Then we got Madam Web. Y'all know my superhero stuff. I'm going to watch it. Even if it looks boo-boo, I might still watch it. Madam Web, as far as the trailer that I have seen, is I think it's only been one trailer. As far as that trailer is concerned, Madam Web don't look good. However, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna go out. That one is coming out in February. Both Bob Marley and Madam Web, both coming out in February. The synopsis for Madam Web is: Cassandra Webb is a New York City paramedic who starts to show signs of clairvoyance. Forced to confront revelations about her past, she must protect three young women from a mysterious adversary who wants them dead. Doom, doom, doom. So Madam Web is another yeah, it does. It does. It looks terrible. But it's a Sony. It's not one coming from the MCU, which the MCU hasn't been batting 1,000 for me either. Here in this phase, what is this, phase 4, phase 5, whatever phase we in right now, it has not been batting 1,000 for me, but it's definitely been better than what Sony has been up to, with the exception of the animated Across the Spider-Verse. Man, once again, I have to say, Across the Spider-Verse was the best superhero movie of 2023. Period. For me, in my opinion. You ain't gotta agree with me, but we do have to admit that it is leaps and bounds above some of the stuff that we've gotten out of everybody. Out of everybody. I'm talking DC. I haven't seen Aquaman, so don't, I can't shit on Aquaman, but lots of those movies were garbage. Hey, Reinhardt. David says Marley, yes. Webb, no. Good to see you. Good to see your face in the place, Reinhardt. And Justice says, if you like monster movies, the Godzilla Minus Zero was excellent. Top 3 all-time Godzilla films, and Leave the World Behind was good in my view, but Godzilla is great. Now, I've heard nothing but good things about Godzilla Minus Zero. Nothing but good things. I truly want to see it. Y'all know I ain't leaving out the house no time soon, but I do want to see Godzilla Minus Zero because I heard nothing but good things about it. Leave the World Behind, I have not watched yet. I'm gonna have to sit still when I don't have the babies, because that's another thing, y'all. I still am watching the babies. You know, both of them are doing well. We got a walker in the house finally. The boy is walking. And the little girl, all she does all day long is eat, eat, eat. So Ashton is busy because he's busy. He's moving around. But my day with them starts at 3 a.m. because that's what time their parents go to work. My day ends with them at 1 p.m. So my waking side of the day is so early now that when they get home from work, because this medicine and all this other ish that I'm dealing with makes me tired, I'm sleeping almost the rest of the day. I've been missing Clarence with his live streams. I was able to join one this past week. Last week for the Christmas special of Doctor Who, which I truly enjoyed. I did. And I can't wait to see what else Shooty got for us in the realm of Doctor Who and his new companion and Mrs. Flood. So y'all know what I'm talking about if you're watching Doctor Who. If not, I'm not about to spoil a whole bunch. Watch it because I think I'm going to touch on Doctor Who, but I'm going to leave it to the experts to have deep discussions, and the experts are over there at Discussing Who. So subscribe to the Discussing Network and Discussing Who so that you can follow Clarence as they talk about Doctor Who. And of course, we can still count on him to give us Star Trek as well. He's a busy man. And I hope my pod niece is doing well, and my pod sister-in-law, and Clarence, you know who I'm talking about. Okay. So Godzilla Minus Zero. Clarence says he's also heard nothing but good things about it. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait for it to come on something that I can see it, because I'm looking forward to that one. What else was movie-wise? Dune Part 2. I think that's April. No, it's March, I think. I don't think I had anything for April. I think Dune Part 2 is in March. Of course, I was hooked on the first one. It's a beautiful, beautiful, well shot movie, and it ended on that flipping cliffhanger. And so we're going to come back to Part 2, where Paul Atreides unites with Shani and the Freeman while seeking revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Looking forward to that. Speaking of Godzilla, we got Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire. That one is coming out. Let me see. This was January. I got rid of February. I think this was March, April. I think it's April. Yeah. So we got I didn't put dates, so forgive me for they, of course, they haven't given us a plot for Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire. But we know that it's starring Dan Stevens, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, who I love, and Rachel House. The plot is still being kept under wraps, but that's something else to look forward to. Back to Black is coming out, and gosh, I wish I would have put the months instead of color coding this stuff so I know what month I'm on. I think this is May. Back to Black is the biopic about Amy Winehouse. Looking forward to seeing that. Definitely. So it's a never before seen glimpse into Amy Winehouse's early rise to fame and the release of her groundbreaking studio album, Back to Black. Looking forward to the Amy Winehouse film. Reinhardt says, Tasha, got to be honest, a lot of people always talk about superhero fatigue, and Madam Web seems like one of those movies where they had to make a movie in order to keep the rights. And that's all it is. Yeah. They want to continue to hold on to the rights of these characters, but they have to use the characters in order to not lose the rights. So Reinhardt is 100% right. I don't know that this is superhero fatigue. I feel like if we make a good movie, people gonna go see it. That's it. The fact that we have the animated Across the Spider-Verse that did well, and it was an excellent movie. It was an excellent movie. So am I tired of superheroes, or am I tired of bare minimum effort by the studios? And that's what I think I'm afraid I'm more tired of. I'm more fatigued by bare minimum efforts. I'm more fatigued by let's throw a whole bunch into CGI, but not so much into the story. You know, yes, we want our superhero movies to look good, but we also want them to be good. And I think that there is a lesson that these studios have learned, specifically Disney / Marvel, and that is less is sometimes more, because you're starting to now water down your product. And again, I don't know what I didn't watch the Marvels yet, but what a person that I truly trust their judgment in movies is Clarence, and he said Marvels wasn't that bad. The people, what we need to temper the expectations. These standalone hero movies, or I won't call it standalone, because she did have it was Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and what's the other one's name? Lord help me. It was all three of them, but this was just like a side quest. This is not something that is mowing us along into a bigger story. I think when we focus on the story and just use little threads to tie things together, it's much better than trying to make everything a not a blockbuster. We want them to be blockbusters, but make everything an Endgame or Infinity War level movie. Those are special movies. You're not going to repeat those with your singular heroes, even though some of our singular heroes have come mighty close. You're not going to continue to repeat that type of success, and you don't have to. Tell a good story, and if you want to thread it along, thread it along. Now let me see. Yeah, the gang's all here. I truly appreciate y'all too. Justice says Dune looks great, and ISS looks interesting. Oh yes, ISS. I don't know what ISS is. And if you tell me and I look it up, looks interesting. Oh, ISS looks interesting. Kong and Godzilla looks great. And the Monarch show based on Godzilla sounds good too. Haven't watched any of it, but I did see it. And I'm like, it's so much when you ain't doing nothing else that I could get into. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, reading or listening to a lot of books, and watching some TV. I haven't been as much into TV, but I'm starting to put my foot back in that door of the television series. Rhino, I said, oh, just letting you know, since I'm still working at the theater, Color Purple is doing crazy good business. I don't know how it's doing on the national stage. Color Purple, last I looked, was third, but for this movie, a musical, to be doing as well as it is in its first week on the scene, to me said it did great numbers as far as the first day, for sure. $18 million, I believe, the first day, and the first day was Christmas. So I do want to see that as well. I've heard that Danielle Brooks completely steals the show. I love Danielle Brooks. I loved her in Peacemaker. I loved her in Mahalia. And I'm pretty sure there are other movies that I'm just not able to put my fingers on, or series. I didn't watch Orange is the New Black, so that one is beyond me. I don't know that one. But I love Danielle Brooks. And if she is uh letting her star shine a whole lot brighter in this Color Purple musical, she deserves the flowers. I'm giving it to you. We know what Fantasia can do. Didn't know Taraji could sing, but I know she can act her butt off. Coleman Domingo, he is Mr. in Color Purple. I hear he did a fantastic job. Dion Cole, was it Dion Cole? Yeah. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I heard he was funny. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that also. David is asking the same question. I'm asking, what is ISS? It's a space movie, something to do with the space station, and it looks good. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to look more into it. He said he just saw the trailer, Justin did, and it didn't give much away, kind of a space action mystery movie. I'm looking forward to it. Clarence is saying when he's doubling down on the Marvels was fun, which sometimes is what you want. And Miss Marvel is a joy. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Clarence says Color Purple and Wonka musicals without telling us they're musicals. Well, the Color Purple, now look, because I know I was talking about the Color Purple as they were casting, and they have always said it was a musical. And I know that I knew it was a musical. I maybe I didn't do enough to make sure everybody else knew it was a musical, but yeah, it's a musical, y'all. And just in case, the original movie was not a musical. It did have a couple of musical numbers in it. Oh, especially Suge Avery. Oh my goodness. But yes, it's a musical. I didn't know Wonka now. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know Wonka was a musical. It took me, I was a little later in the game when I found out that Wonka was a musical. Reinhardt said, Tasha, I'm like a lot of us. I work a regular job. That said, if I could see all the flaws in these movies that come out, how come the professionals can't see them before they release them? I think they do. Reinhardt. Like, for instance, when you start seeing movies get delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, I think they've seen the flaws, but they're too far in to scrap the movie, even unless you're Warner Brothers. But you're too far in to scrap the movie, so you have to just try to salvage what you got, and then it's still unwatchable. Because I mean, we think about the one movie from last year that everybody talked about was Morbius. They had to know. That movie wasn't good, right? But they still put it out. And there are far more examples than just Morbius. I honestly think that they could have done a little bit more tweaking to Ant-Man. I think they could have done a lot more tweaking to, and this is my opinion, don't sue me, Thor: Love and Thunder. Those two movies. Now, Ant-Man was not, for me, as big of a letdown as Thor: Love and Thunder was. Thor: Love and Thunder needed some more work to me. I did like the villain that we will probably never see again, as played by Jonathan Majors in Ant-Man Quantumania. Now, I'm not saying we'll never see Jonathan Majors again. We just won't see his version of Kang the Conqueror in the MCU. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it now, because I'm telling you, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset with me about what I'm about to say here. After watching that video of that lady chasing him through the streets of New York, and that lady was flying because she was keeping up with him. After watching that video, I feel like there may have been, I'm not going to say that there was no abuse on his part. I'm saying that in this situation, if I were sitting on the jury, I'd be like, she was harassing him. I don't get to chase you through the streets after you've told me you don't want nothing to do with me. They got words for that. And harassment is just like on the lowest rung of a person who will literally chase you through the streets. Yeah. So, not that my mind had ever been made up about Jonathan Majors, because y'all know how I feel about Jonathan Majors. He's my favorite actor who burst on the scene in the last few years. I was very disappointed that this situation even occurred. That's number one, because the little recording, I know this has been turned into me talking about Jonathan Majors, but you know I'm going to defend Jonathan Majors just a little bit because I like him. When you have this recording of him, unlike others, I didn't hear him yelling at her. He was lecturing, though. Hey, I need you to uphold yourself. I'm a great man. And I need you to behave like other great women. You know, great women like Michelle Obama, great women like Coretta Scott King. If you have to pull somebody, drag them, kicking and screaming to help you realize your dream, they're not a help. They are a hindrance. And that is when, especially when you've got far more to lose than they do, that is when you need to, as hard as it is, cut ties. You can't bring everybody with you. So if you feel like you have to make this lecture to this person who is supposed to be helping you along, and you're supposed to be helping one another along in your dreams, if that is what you envision for you and her, and she's not she's not helping with the vision, it's time to cut her loose. You can't force her to be somebody she's not. And that is, to me, what the issue was with the evidence that I was able to hear and see. If he was putting his hands on her, or if he was abusive in any other way to her, she had the exact same option that I'm levying to him. When that person is doing more harm than good, it's better to cut your ties earlier than to wait 2-3 years and then say, or wait until something major like this happens and then say, I'm done. It's easier said than done. I know, been there, done that. But yeah, I had to get on my soapbox for a minute. Let me see. Okay. Justice said Loki was a perfect ending. I don't want to give it away in case no one saw it. Loki was fantastic. And again, I think there was some, even though they said they didn't have to do no reshoots, I think some changes was made after this Jonathan Major stuff jumped off. But I don't care that the changes that were made, because Loki ended fantastically. And it makes me want to know what the next step in his evolution will be. And I will leave it at that, because just like Justice said, I don't want to give it away if no one has saw it. Reinhardt said that's a good point. They have to just make the best out of a bad thing. And this is just speculation, I don't know, but it just sounds like, yeah, we done lost a whole lot of money doing reshoots and this and that. We're gonna put something out. And yep, we're not going to tell people how bad it is. And we're going to hope that we recoup everything on the first weekend, because after that, the word's going to be out, the cat's going to be out the bag, and everybody's going to know that this movie sucked. David said, I think they put out bad movies sometimes as a tax write-off. They film a bad movie and then or they film a movie, because we can't even say whether it's good or bad. They film a movie and then they say we ain't gonna put it out, and that's when they can write it. That's when they can write it off. WB is such a crap show; it's almost unbelievable. Yeah, and then we're supposed to be trying to join forces with them as far as Paramount is concerned, and Paramount is the home of our Star Trek for now, right? There have been little whispers that Paramount and WB is going to merge. God, let's hope not. If they do, Star Trek has to be left. Just leave our shit alone. Leave it alone. We've been making do with what we've been making do with so far with Star Trek, and a lot of us are satisfied. Some of us are mostly satisfied. Leave our stuff alone. Do whatever you got to do with DC, the DCU, and all this stuff. Leave Star Trek to the professionals, and that is like questionable at times, but I've been satisfied here recently with what we've gotten out of Star Trek. Reinhardt said, Thor Love and Thunder crushed my heart because I think Thor Ragnarok was one of the best standalone. Just watched it again the other day. It still holds up. The best standalone hero movies they ever did. And then came Love and Thunder. And Love and Thunder, to me, just for me and Reinhardt, it could have used a little more work. Yeah. Justice says, I totally agree. Thor was a letdown and it needed more Christian Bale. He was great, but yes, it needed work on the whole thing. They needed a better story. If you're going to have Christian effing Bale in your movie playing the antagonist who had a point in a way, but they usually do. They usually do. You better use them. And they did not. They failed to use him, in my opinion. Clarence says they're both bat-ish. He's talking about the lady Grace Jabari and the Jonathan Majors situation. Such a toxic relationship. As you know, from what we could see, it was definitely toxic. Two people who should have never been together, and he should have been smarter. I agree. She should have too. First and foremost, you know, let's stop going to work and I can say this easily because I don't punch you into a job. Let's stop going to work and falling head over heels with somebody, especially if your job is fooling people 100% of the time. So Jonathan Majors has a sort of gravitas, a charisma about him, but Jonathan Majors is also an actor. He's also an actor, and his job is to lie to us and be convincing with it, to convince us that he is really this person that we are seeing on this screen, whether it's the big screen or the small screen. We are believing that, wow, he really drew me into with his acting as this character. But he is a liar by trade. So who you meet on set is probably not who this man really is. And I'm not trying to shit on Jonathan Majors. I don't know anything about him personally. But I do know that he is one hell of an actor. And that to me is an indication that he there's a duality to him. And I'll leave it at that as far as talking about him like in that tone. Oh, Justice says he also agrees with what I said on Jonathan Majors. I mean, yeah, they was toxic. They was toxic for one another. Ooh, wait a minute, Clarence. Loki was amazing. Best Doctor Who I've seen in a while. And he was kidding. He's kidding. But I thought about the first season of Loki. First season of Loki, I was like, damn, Tom Hiddleston would be a fantastic Doctor Who. And the more you look at it, that's pretty much what this was. It was a Doctor Who that wasn't Doctor Who, and I enjoyed it. Tom Hiddleston would have been a fantastic Doctor Who, yes. Clarence says Paramount can't take the high ground. They've canceled shows too for tax purposes. Yeah, they have. I think everybody is starting to get in on that now, though. Now that the WB has been like showing their ass with with canceling stuff before we ever see it, and saying nope, we're not going to put it out, but okay, we'll put it out. Now the WB has done that. Other streamers are like, oh, we can do that, and now they're doing it as well. So Clarence is saying Paramount has done it. We know Disney has done it. Disney at least, I guess, shopped some of their stuff around to other people. But yeah, that Spiderwick Chronicles is one that stands out to me. And I cannot remember who it went to. Did it go to Netflix or did it go to Amazon? Whichever way, you'll be able to see it. But it was made for Disney Plus. And they was like, no, we're going to pull the plug on that. So, yeah, everybody's starting to get in on this. Reinhardt said, just throwing this out there. I went to see Iron Claw on Thursday. It's a movie about the Von Erich family. I forgot this was coming out of wrestlers and the tragedy that just seems to follow them. And stars Zac Efron, and it is very good. That I'm actually very happy to hear, because that is another one that I do want to see, because once upon a time, many moons ago, I was very much into the WWE, WWF, not so much WCW, maybe in the NWO era, but um yeah, I like the Von Erichs, the Kerry and the, well, I remember Kerry Von Erich, and was it another one? What's the name? Kevin Von Erich? It was a bunch of them. It was a bunch of Von Erichs, just like it was a bunch of the what's the other big family? One of the brothers passed away doing a stunt in one of the pay-per-views for wrestling. What is that family's name? Y'all try to remind me if you can. Justice said, Reinhardt, my friend, you have excellent taste. Saw that also. Big wrestling guy right here. Wow, I never knew that about you, Justin, that she was a big wrestling guy. And Clarence said that he wants to see that too. Very tragic. Justice said, wasn't sure if anyone would be interested in it. It was excellent. Love y'all. Yes, I once, like I said, many moons ago, I was big in wrestling, but the Von Erichs, and gosh, why can't I think of the other family that was a really just big in that era, same era? The Von Erichs. Oh gosh, I can't think of it. It's gonna make me mad. Was it the Halls? I'm gonna have to ask my son, because we did watch. That's why I was into wrestling, because I once upon a time had a little guy, and the little guy was into wrestling, and I had to watch it. Um, Mercedes. Who was Mercedes? Clarence said, "Do you know Mercedes and Snoop Dogg are cousins?" Now I gotta look up who Mercedes is. I don't even know who Mercedes is. Oh no, I didn't. I did not. See, she's kind of a newer wrestler, though, huh? The Hearts. Yes, the Hearts. Why couldn't I think of it? Now, which one wasn't it? One of the Hart brothers who did that stunt and was killed coming into the arena. He was coming in on some kind of tether, and I don't know if the tether broke. I can't remember, but I know we were watching it. Me and the kids, my son and my nephew, myself, were watching it when it happened, but I don't remember what went down. I know we turned it off because I didn't want to have to explain. Yeah. Oh, they from Mississippi. So your dad knows her folks. Their family is from Macomb, Mississippi. I didn't know that was her cousin, and I honestly didn't know who she was, simply because she's a newer wrestler, young girl. And David said, I didn't know either. Owen Hart, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, Reinhardt. Oh, the one she is in the Mandalorian. Yes. Now I know who you. Yeah. Yes. Um, Clarence says, oh, no, Justice says, yes, wish she would come back to WWE. She's excellent. And it was Owen Hart. So, yes, everybody's reminding me Owen Hart now. I don't know. Gonia, family wrestler spelled wrong. I don't know if I remember them. Um, just saw that on pay-per-view too, Tasha said. Yeah. That was, oh, you saw it on that pay-per-view. Yeah. We were watching it, and we have well, we had little parties for the kids, for the little boys, because my son and his little clique of friends, And it would rotate from home to home who would do the pay-per-view for each pay-per-view. And in this particular pay-per-view was my turn to host the pay-per-view for the boys. And we had everything. Wrestling plates, they little wrestling figures was standing up around the plates. We had all kinds of little things going on. And then that happened. And I was like, I don't know how to go on. And they went on. That's the crazy thing. But anywho, her professional name is Sasha Banks. Yeah. Now, see, if you'd have said Sasha Banks, I would have remembered. Okay, so the Gonya family was way back. But yeah. Now, even when I was a little girl, I used to watch it with my brothers, and then, of course, got too old for doing that. And then I came back around to it when Quinn was a little one. But I used to watch it when it was like Nikolai Volkov in the Iron Sheik, and yeah, just that era of wrestling, a Junkyard Dog, and yeah. I was a little older. Well, I am a little older. I'm gonna be a little bit more older. I have to think about it every couple of minutes. I'm gonna be a little bit more older on Tuesday because I got a birthday. But we're gonna talk about that next week after the birthday, if we're here. Reinhardt said, I'll never forget that. It was 1999, I'm pretty sure. And I was sitting at the restaurant and I didn't get the pay-per-view. And somebody said, man, did you see what happened to Owen Hart last night? Gosh, it was terrible. It was literally terrible. Yeah. 1999 Over the Edge was the pay-per-view. I thought they meant something scripted in the story, and then they told me he passed. Yeah. How do you get a star by your name? A star? Oh, one of those little signs. Because you are a patron on Patreon. It's the people who are members on what the hell is this? YouTube. That's how they put the little symbol next to your name. Haystack Calhoun. I don't remember him. Don't be mad at me because I don't remember some of them wrestlers that you remember. I remember some of the other ones though. That was a sad night. Owen was a great talent, and Justin was a fan. Haystack was a legend. I don't remember Haystack. I don't know why. And gosh, it had to be in the same era, huh? It was somebody else, and I'm trying to remember who else. I ain't gonna remember. Just know that once upon a time when I was a little kid, I was about it because my brothers were about it. And then as I got older, I got about it because my son was about it. It's always the men in my life that gets me hooked on something, right? My daddy, my brothers, my son. Oh, so what else? What else can we talk about? Oh, we were talking about these movies, and we did get as far as the Amy Winehouse film, Imaginary Friend with Ryan Reynolds. That's coming out same month. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's coming out same month. So lots of movies right there. That's a nice little block. Back to Black, Imaginary Friend, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Then we also, what month was this? I gotta look and see if this was June or July. I'm looking. Yeah, in June we got Bad Boys 4 coming out. Plot is still unknown, but it's the fourth installment of the Bad Boys film series, and Will Smith is going to be in it, which makes us say that maybe he's on his redemption, his path to redemption as well for his little yeah, that was horrible. What happened at the Oscars, and hopefully the fact that he is starting to get back into making his movies, that people are going to be on the road to forgiving him for what he did. And then A Quiet Place, day one, Lupita Nyong'o is going to be in that one. Jimon Hunsu. So we got The Quiet Place, day one. Plot is under wraps. So it's just like a lot of plots are under wraps, and I'm still very much looking forward to plot these movies. Deadpool 3 is coming out in, I believe this is July. Yeah. So we know we're getting Ryan Reynolds along with Hugh Jackman. Wolverine is joining the Merc with the Mouth in the third installment of the Deadpool film franchise. Let me go back up here and make sure everybody. Oh, Dark Side of the Ring documentaries. They're excellent. Wrestling is wild business. It really is. David says, I'm not aware of the newer ones. These were guys wrestling when I was a kid. And I'm probably, if I see Haystack Calhoun, I'll probably remember who it is. If it was in that same era with the Nikolai Volkov, Iron Sheik, Junkyard Dog, I cannot for the life of me pull anybody else out of the sky that I can remember right off. Let me see. What other movies? Alien Romulus. That's where young people from a distant world must face the most terrifying life form in the universe. And then one that I'm probably not going to see, but I probably should because of the stuff that we talk about. You know, I know everything is not going to be a 100% winner, and maybe I will be I'll be pleasantly surprised by Kraven the Hunter with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Russell Crowe, but it just doesn't look good. It just didn't look good from the trailer that I saw. It's I'm not excited for it, but I'll probably will give it a chance. I probably will. Reinhardt said, "Yeah, I know everybody's talking about that nausea, but at nauseum, but I felt bad for Chris Rock because I met the guy twice, and he's like a very nice guy. But I've always been a Will Smith fan, so it was just sad. Yeah, you catch a celebrity having a human moment, and it's on the biggest stage ever, but it was a human moment, and you expect more from people. Even just me and you, if you saw me out in the street and I slapped the crap out of somebody, you would expect more from me. So yeah, and then you factor that by you got a million millions of people watching at home, and they saw you in one of your worst moments, then yeah, I agree. Bruiser Bob Sweeten. Justin says, I'm staying away from Alien. Love that franchise, but lately it has let me down. I understand that. Kraven also looked terrible. Yeah, it looked just as bad, if not worse, than Madam Web. I think that I might have to see it. You know, it's like a morbid curiosity. Like, how many ways can you F these characters up? And we got to say, you know, I guess I'm going to have to see. Gonna have to see. Reinhardt says, glad you guys brought up Kraven. That's another movie that nobody asked for. It's almost like Sony, same way we got the rights to all the Spider-Man characters, so let's just make movies. They just like you said though, they got to keep these rights right. They got to do something. Or is Kraven and them under the same umbrella as Spider-Man, where if we make a Spider-Man movie, then Kraven, we still get to keep Kraven. I don't know. I don't know if they have to use Kraven, but yeah, they didn't have to use Kraven, not in a standalone movie. Some of these characters need Spider-Man to make us care about the character, you know, because right now, I didn't want it. But I am just one. Okay, so let's just say me and Reinhardt are two of many fans of these franchises, but neither one of us are saying, I raised my hand and said, yeah, give us Kraven the Hunter. Give us Madam Web without Spider-Man. I felt that same way about Venom. They've had a bit more success with Venom without Spider-Man than they have with anything else. I'm not looking forward to Kraven, but I'll probably watch it if that makes sense. And Reinhardt is adding that he loves Aaron Taylor Johnson. The man has incredible acting ability, but this is not that. This ain't it. We didn't ask for it. They're gonna give it to us anyway, so we might as well watch it and do our reviews and talk about it and say maybe what could have been better, what might be worse, and how we think they move forward from here, and hopefully they listen. That's it. Yeah. Will forgot the most important part of a fight. Meet me outside. Yep. That's usually, maybe sometimes by the time you get outside, and I know this ain't got nothing to do with anything, by the time you get outside, you don't even want to fight no more. I watched a video yesterday. It was two women just outside of a hospital fighting. And at some point, one of the women just whispered in the other woman's ear, and they both nodded their heads and they raised their hands and walked away, laughing and stuff. I'm like, so y'all literally just stood out here and fought till you got tired. You're like, look, I don't know what we fighting for. Let's just stop. And they just stopped and walked away. And it was stupid, but it was funny. Okay. Justin asks, isn't Aaron Taylor Johnson going to be the new Bond, or is being looked at? He can act like him also. So I've heard that there is a chance. There's nothing set in stone yet, I don't think. Is it? Let me make sure that it's not set in stone. Let me make sure it's not, because I know that there had been conversation and I didn't hear anything definitive as of yet. Is Aaron Taylor Johnson going to be the next James Bond? Aaron Taylor Johnson is dodging reports that he's a prime candidate to play the next James Bond. So that was in August of 2023. So we don't know, but he probably is on a list. I wouldn't doubt that he's on a list, but he hasn't been confirmed. Will better duck Smith. Reinhardt said, Tasha, what she said, then it's kind of like when you had Gotham and you're introducing all of Batman's rogue gallery, but no Batman because he was 12. Right. So he was 12 years old, and all of these characters are starting their, I guess, criminal enterprise. Yeah, some characters some of them we don't care. Some of them we want to see where they got their start, I guess. Some of them, but then others we don't care unless you gonna give us Batman or Spider-Man or Superman. It's like, okay, who cares about a Lex Luthor movie? If they made a Lex Luthor movie, how many of us would care? Because Lex Luthor is nothing to me without some with some Superman. And that's just it. Maybe I could be in the minority, though. There may be a bunch of people who would be interested in that. But to me, we learning about these characters, and it's almost making them heroic or anti-heroes, which in some cases they are. But there is nothing to juxtapose if we don't have their nemesis in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, Venom shocked a lot of people. I didn't particularly like the first Venom. I liked the second one better. I did. But I didn't particularly like the first Venom, but many people did. And it was it might have given Sony a boost of confidence that they were on the right path. And until we see these other movies, we can't say that they're not on the right path. But if I'm a betting person, I would bet that they're not. I would bet that the best thing that they have done thus far has been their animated Spider-Verse. That to me, and that's dependent upon how this third movie goes, but these first two Spider-Verse movies were they just knocked it out the park. That is their avenue of Spider-Man storytelling, and their live action has left a lot to be desired to me. Right, I said you're not in the minority. Nobody wants to elect Lex Luthor film without Superman because they're gonna be saying we're super bad. Oh gosh. Claire says, as far as fighting goes, after hearing of and watching a bit of South Central Baddies, I've lost all faith in humanity. Now, hearing and watching a bit of South Central Baddies. What is South Central Baddies? Lord, I might be afraid. I might be sad that I asked, especially because you said that you've lost faith in humanity. I don't know what South Central Baddies is. Oh gosh. Look, I'm looking over at the computer like, do I look it up or do I just wait for somebody to tell me? Oh. David said, it would be interesting to see a Lex Luthor, but definitely would be weird without a Superman component. Yeah. It's like, for instance, Thanos, how we got Thanos in Infinity War. Infinity War, Thanos was pretty much the protagonist of that story. The Avengers and everybody working with them were the antagonists to Thanos. We went on Thanos' hero's journey. And, many of us were not going for Thanos. In fact, I would say 99.9% of us were probably not going for Thanos throughout that movie. But once that movie was over, you realize this was Thanos' movie. It was just featuring the Avengers. That is, to me, how you introduce a villain and give him his own story. Follow him and his quote unquote hero's journey towards getting whatever his quest is, and then have the good guys try to be a thorn in his side upon completing his quest. That is how you keep me interested as you're telling a villain story. It doesn't have to be on the same scale. Of course, that's just an example. Yeah. And Clarence is, yep, Madam Web is another multiverse play. It is. And there was better ways to have done that. And that would have been by including the Spider-Man character. Even if it wasn't the Spider-Man from the MCU. Because while we playing in multiverses, you still have Andrew Garfield, you still have Tobey Maguire. You could introduce an altogether new Spider-Person. You could introduce a live action Miles Morales. You could have done any of those things and made a little more sense than just having Madam Web be the main character of the movie. Okay, Justice says, it's like Joker. It was a great film, but don't need a second movie, even though Gaga is always interesting. And look, I like Joker as well, but this could have been a situation where this wasn't him being the over-the-top Joker that we've seen done a million different times. This was a Joker done in a completely different way, kind of the origin story, yes, but this movie, the Joker, held up without Batman because this could have been anybody. It wasn't necessarily the Joker. This could have been anybody's story with mental health issues in that time period, I believe it was the 80s, in that time period, mental health issues, people being unkind and creating a sociopath. SCB, is that's South Central Baddies? It's a reality show. Clarence says it's internet trash. A bunch of gangster women fighting. It's terrible. I hate that. Because you say South Central, that means I know a whole bunch of them look like me as far as this. And we do not need any bad representation because they're like, again, I know we've said it before as we're talking about other things. People who don't know folks like us, like me, watch TV and that's how they feel like they get to know folks like me. And it is unfair because it is the most horrific representation sometimes. You know, they're not shining a light on a lot of people for their intellect, for them being so smart and being knowledgeable or whatever. It's usually something superficial, how you look. And of course, then your behavior. These are things that, you know, no, they're not shining no light on any of the best qualities in people, is what I'm saying. And yeah, I don't want to, I agree with you, Clarence. I don't need no internet trash. I don't need it. Don't need it. Don't need it. David says, thank you. I know to avoid it. Clarence says, I almost feel like DC is better off not connecting things. Even Marvel is having trouble reproducing it. They struck gold the first time around. Now, I still want Marvel to connect because that's what made Marvel different to me. Nobody else we wasn't expecting everybody else to jump on this same bandwagon. So I agree with you. DC might not need to connect, or they might not need to do it no time soon. Do it in fact, do it the way Marvel did it in the beginning. Introduce one by one your characters. Don't start muddying the water until we've gotten to know the characters a little bit. And then, bam, you can give us a team up and we'll appreciate it. I have faith that James Gunn has a plan. I really hope people give him a chance because, you know, a lot of people are just going to fight him because of who he's not because of who he is and what he does. And it's just like the Marvels movie. You know, it wasn't a male superhero. There were a very vocal group that cannot fathom a superhero being anything but male. And thus they shat upon this movie. And it wasn't what everyone asked for. But the people who saw it was like, it's fun. No, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to remake the movie. It doesn't have to be the thing that props up the MCU. It had to be a fun film. And that's what they delivered, it sounds like. I can't wait till I can see it for myself. Sounds like they delivered a fun film and people just didn't want it. Have you noticed that the MCU films that have done the worst had the most female, I won't say the most, had female directors and or female leads? Have you noticed that? So are we saying that these movies were bad, or is it misogyny is alive and well? Of course it is, but is misogyny that alive and well that they don't want these women to find success in a genre that they love? That's just a question. I don't have the answer. Reinhardt said, I got one more TV show you should check out. Super Pumped. It's the story of how Uber was made. It's starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Now, where can I watch that? I've not heard of it. I don't even think I heard of Super Pumped. It was a story of how Uber was made. It's actually sounds something like something I'd be interested in too. Let me look and see where I can. Not supper, super pumped. The Battle for Uber. It is on Netflix, so I might be able to watch it because Pook got some Netflix. Clarence says, "How do you feel about Marvel this time around? If not for the Jonathan Majors issues, were they going down the right path?" It's hard to answer the question because we can answer it from a superhero movie head perspective, which would be me. I love the superhero movies, right? And I would be like, "Oh yeah, they was there. I feel like this was great. It's a great idea to go into the multiverse and to do this and that and to lead up to this and that." But from the standpoint of a casual moviegoer, it's probably very confusing. Probably don't even know what world they in right now. And there are more casual moviegoers than there are people like us who are kind of live in these worlds. If not for the Jonathan Majors issues, were they going down the right path for a certain segment, but not for the general audience? And there is still an opportunity to write things because I can see, honestly, and I could be wrong, of course, but I could see where they're trying to go. They're trying to say that each reality, or this is where we're taking this, each reality has their own superhero groups. And when these realities start to have these incursions on one another, this is how we're going to get the X-Men and the Avengers and the Sony stuff all in one universe. And yeah, so to try to make all that make sense, because they couldn't all be in the same universe at the same time, and they never hear about each other, or we never heard about them. So to make it make sense, they're trying to say, oh, these universes kind of fell onto one another, and that's now we're going to, this is how they got into this world, and to tell the story. And I get it, but yeah, casual moviegoer just going to one movie and trying to see where they fit in, they're not going to understand what the hell is going on unless they tighten these stories up. And another problem that I do agree with Bob Iger on, there were some things that Bob Iger stated in the last few couple of months that I didn't agree with. But one of the things I did agree with was that you got your fingers in too many pots in the MCU. There was too many things going on at once. And how many people were going to really be able to keep up with all of these different things? It's just people like me. Really, people who I ain't got nothing else to do but watch these babies. So I can watch several different series of Marvel stuff, and it doesn't become overwhelming or too much to me because I ain't got nothing else to do. But people who are going to work and having a personal life and raising children and this and that, ain't got time to be sitting down every month for a different 6-week show. I like that they're doing Echo all in one drop. I like that. So when I sit down to watch Echo, if each episode is 45 minutes, then 5 hours, 6 hours, I'm done. Yeah. So no, I don't know if they're going down the right path for general audiences. Reinhardt was telling me Netflix, and I'm going to check it out. Reinhardt, thank you for bringing that one to my attention. Interesting to ponder. Misogyny. It is. This is my thoughts. I'm not trying to tell nobody else how to think. You tell me what you think. Yeah, because Ant-Man, I don't think was the right vehicle to introduce Kang. And like we said, Loki did it so much better. They had a great jumping off point that they kind of didn't capitalize on. And the only way it made sense to bring Kang in through Ant-Man was because of saying that he was imprisoned in the quantum realm. Outside of that, there was no upside for him being introduced there. Justin said, I thought the first Wonder Woman was one of the greatest superhero films ever. That story was excellent. But 1984 Wonder Woman was just bad because the story was bad. I agree. Because when I saw the first Wonder Woman movie, I was completely shocked at how much I loved that movie. I actually went to go see it again and again because I really loved the movie. Wonder Woman 1984 couldn't get off my TV fast enough. And I didn't even go to the movies. I think it was during COVID though. So I didn't even go to the movies to see it, and it couldn't get off my TV fast enough. That's how bad that movie was to me. The story was horrible. You had the opportunity. You had Pedro Pascal. You had the talent. He kept going back to the well with this Steve, I'm about to say Steve Rogers, but you know who I'm talking about. Shucks. Steve Trenton, what is his name? Trent, I can't remember. Steve Majors? What the fuck was his name? Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. Clarence said they could easily go back to the Ant-Man 3 post credits and give Kang different faces. I agree. And even if they wanted to go the direction of just one face, well, I'm afraid to even, I would be afraid to put the keys to the kingdom in the hands of one person again, because that pulled the rug out from under everybody. Nobody knew that this boy was out here being a fool in these streets. But yeah, maybe different faces would probably be the best way to go about it. because if you give it all to the same person and that person gets in some trouble, then gosh. Hey, Dreamwalker, Happy New Year to you as well. Good to see you. Glad you dropped in to say hi. Claire says, yeah, quit giving the movies with more diversity's bad script. You can even argue Black Panther 2 script wasn't great. Wasn't as good as the first one, I don't think. But I guess I just, you know what? Sentiment and emotionality is what carried me through that movie. And just feeling like, okay, here we are. This is our opportunity as an audience, as fans, to say goodbye to Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of T'Challa. And gosh, you shouldn't even brought it up. It was just like going to a wake. I'm telling you. David said, haven't seen the new Ant-Man. Walmart eliminated 90% of their DVD department. Are you kidding? So they're like, we're forcing you to go to digital media, knowing that we thought that we owned our digital media that we were buying from some of these platforms, and then they tell you, oh, we can snatch that up from up under you anytime we want. That's not yours, even though I bought it. It's not yours. So now they want to make everybody jump into the digital scene of things, where to me, after hearing that it's not mine, once I bought it, after hearing that, it made me feel like the safer bet is to get DVDs. Justin said, saw the first one like 4 times in the theater. It was so good. It had a great message, good story, fantastic visuals. The acting was fantastic. And then this second movie came around and it just wasn't what it do. Steve Trevor, that's his name. Yeah. Justice says we need to save physical media. All digital is bad for the people, in my opinion. Yeah, they get you coming and going with digital. Yeah. Wow. Best Buy stopped selling DVDs completely. They're gonna force us all, huh? So Justice said, yes, physical media is in trouble. I'm against all digital. David said, it's hard. I just got money so I could catch up, and nobody is selling DVDs. I sure hate to hear that. And I don't know. It's like you can order them from anywhere. There's got to be somebody, right? Like secondhand DVD stores or something. Then you run the risk of getting something that's all junked up. Well, I made it a lot longer than I thought running my mouth today. Goodness gracious. And it was good conversation. I enjoyed the fact that we went across all of these different these different topics. But once I start getting all spacey, I know it's time for me to eat and settle down in here. I think these kids are trying to set me up to babysit tonight, and I have no desire to babysit tonight. But here we are. Looks like I'm gonna be doing it. Let me see what David had to say right here. David said, going to have to special order Star Trek box sets. Yeah, and when you do that, you got to wait so long. Gosh, you got to wait till the season is all completely over, and then they do all that rendering and blah, blah. Yeah, you can't watch along, you know. Reinhardt said, Tasha, you and I are close to the same age. Did we not know this was coming? I worked for Best Buy back when DVDs and CDs was one of their biggest sellers. Now they don't carry either. Yep. I'm gonna be 51 on Tuesday of next week. But and yeah, we kind of could see things coming because we've seen this happen before. We saw, look, I've been around long enough that I remember my daddy had 8 tracks. He had an 8-track player in the car, and we had 8-track players in the house. And then it went from 8 tracks to, of course, we had records too. So you had records. So we had the 8-track player, we had record player, and then both of those things became kind of obsolete. And my daddy gets the tape deck, and then you saw that go out. And then we get the DVD decks, and you see that go out. or CD decks. Yep, and you see that go out. And now we're in digital. And gosh, when is that gonna go out? It's gonna happen soon. Justice said, like digital, but it should be law that there will always be physical outlets. We could still get new DVD media from other sources still. Yeah, I agree. We should always be able to get the physical. That I definitely agree with. And Reinhardt is saying that he is 55. So I think you 4 or 5 years older, depending on, I think you turn 56 next year, and I'll be 51 technically next year. So yeah, we're about 5 years apart. Negligible. 51 is the new 31. My birthday is coming up too. Best people born in January. When is your birthday, David? Tell me when your birthday is, so I'll know whether you are. Yeah, but I mean, I will say it's the new 31. I like being 51. I like all the little gray hairs and the knowledge. The only thing I don't like is that I'm getting softer and more sensitive in my old age. Okay, January 20th. That's one of my godchildren's birthday. So yay. Yay. January 20th. Aquarius? I don't know. But yeah, it has been fun, y'all. I'm about to go and eat a little something and take a little nappy poo before they start making me try to watch these kids. But y'all remember, be safe. Whatever you're doing this New Year's, be safe at it, because I want to see everybody back here on the other side in 2024. Also, be happy. Do not be out here. Don't let nobody steal your shine. Not on New Year's Eve, and certainly not in 2024. We gonna do this thing together. Whether we make money, we make friends, we make memories, we gonna get it in 2024. Promise me. Promise me. Right, I said my first big boy stereo was a record player with a track player. In the next one, had a cassette player. Then we got CDs. Then we got MP3s. Yep, yep. Yeah, have a happy new year. Love you, Justin. Love you. Clarence says we need a 2024 slogan. I might try to come up with one. Everybody, let's try to come up with a slogan. And if you're a part of the Discord, put it in the Discord. If not, reach out some way, shape, or form on this live stream, wherever. Reach out in some way, shape, or form and tell us your entry for a slogan for 2024. We need one. Yes, we do. David says, Happy New Year, everyone. I'm so glad you're back. Don't let anyone ruin your day. Whoop, whoop. I'm not. The only person that's going to ruin my day is me. And I'm going to beat me up before I let me do that. I've had fun, guys. Don't let anyone ruin your day. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna ruin my day. I promise. Good night and happy new year, everybody. Peace.